Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. I'm Callie.
And I'm Bean.
So today we're going to talk about our recent reads and who got to another 5, and this time's winner is Sara.
Yay, I won. I actually read approximately 8.
Yeah.
So I think I win this time.
Yeah. So she's going to start.
I will start, and we're actually going to start with The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. This book I actually ended up giving a 3.5 to. I was expecting to give it a little higher because I did love the first book in this series, Angels and Demons, so much. But I think, well, one, it was super entertaining. It was a great mystery thriller story. It was well researched, especially for the time. However, I knew what was going to happen. I knew who the bad guy was. I knew the plot of the story because I've seen the movie. And I was reading this and I feel like I've read it before, but according to my Goodreads, I have not. So I don't know. I guess it was a little underwhelming because I knew what was going to happen. So that doesn't mean it was a bad book. It was a great book. It is not nonfiction. It is fiction. And I was looking at some of the reviews on Goodreads and it kind of annoyed me because people kept talking about how, oh, this is really hidden. It's like, no, it's fiction, guys. Calm down. It's fiction. So there isn't a treasure. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Next book I read was probably one of my favorite books of the month, and this is Rome by C.H. Armstrong. This one I did give a 5 out of 5 for, and I did read it in one sitting, which surprised me. I didn't plan on doing that. This book follows a girl who is starting high school, and her family has recently found themselves homeless. They have no money. They're living in Minnesota at the beginning of a school year, so they're just starting a Minnesota winter there, which I have lived through those. They are brutal. But this book does follow homelessness completely in a YA book. It does follow the stereotypical formula for a contemporary book, so you know exactly what's going to happen. You know who her friends are going to be. You know what's going to happen, but it worked well with the different plot of the homelessness and of her trying to accept what her family's position is.
So for my first read, I read Four Dead Queens by Astrid Scholte. This is her debut novel, and I gave it 4 stars because it was a wonderful debut novel. It was super intriguing. It had a really good mystery inside a fantastical world, which I feel like doesn't happen all that often.
Yeah.
It's usually like there's a big bad, there's a fight, there's war. There's not really a mystery. I really liked that aspect of the book. It is a standalone, and it worked really well as a standalone. It wrapped up all of its loose ends really nicely. It was a really satisfying ending where she did leave enough open to if she wants to return to this world, which she has said that she wants to return to this world. So in this book we follow a thief who finds a recording of all of the 4 dead queens of this world being murdered. So she has 3 days to figure out if it's real, if it is real, how to stop it, and who's doing it. What I really like about this also is you eventually get the point of view of the villain, which I thought was really, I wasn't expecting it because there were a lot of red herrings as to who the villain was, and it's revealed through their own point of view, which I thought was a really cool way to do the reveal while also still keeping it intriguing. And there was still more mystery of the, okay, well, this is the person behind it. Who's doing the actual killing? Mm-hmm. How are they doing it? Can they be stopped? It was just really cool to follow. So 4 out of 5 stars for me.
All right, the next book I read was The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides, and this one was the first book of the month book that I ever got. It was a solid thriller. It follows a woman who, at the beginning of the book, she is accused of murdering her husband. She shoots him in the face 3 times, and then she doesn't say a word. That's it. That you find that out within the first chapter of the book, so I'm not spoiling anything. And the rest of the book follows 2 different perspectives. It's her in her diary from before she gets put into this mental hospital, and the psychotherapist who's assigned her case. And while this was a super intense thriller, it did take me a little while to get into, and due to that, it does get 3 out of 5 from me. The next book I read was Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. This is the 10th book in the Hercule Poirot series. I love Agatha Christie's writing, and for those of you who are new, I am attempting to read all of her books this year, or at least all of the ones in the Hercule Poirot series. This one was honestly, it's a bit unfortunate because I knew exactly what was going to happen. I just saw the movie last year, and so nothing surprised me in this book. The movie follows the book very well, which I was really surprised with. I didn't think it would, but it really does. And so I think that took away from the excitement of it being an Agatha Christie story for me, because half of the point of it is that I never know who it is.
Right.
I never know who the murderer is or anything like that. And this one I was like, well, I know what's going to happen. But it was still well done, still a really great story. So this one got 4 out of 5.
I read Davy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I know everyone on BookTube is in love with this book, and I am no different. I gave this book 5 stars because I think everyone needs to read this book.
Yeah.
I loved this book. It's written in an interview style where I feel like I'm just watching one of those like old rock stories on like HBO where we get the different perspectives of the same events from all the band members, from Daisy, from other people like the manager. And we follow this story in the 70s, and it's just so awesome. It's how the band broke up, that no one knew. They broke up in the middle of a tour, and no one knew until now. But I just love how every person that I've watched videos who has reviewed this book sees the ending differently, and I really love that in a book where people can discuss and people can take away different pieces, put together different threads, because it does leave, it's from each point of view of each band member, so you can see it from Daisy's point of view, and you're like, oh, well, maybe that's what they're doing now, or you see it from Billy's point of view, and it's just super cool how they tie everything together in the end, and I just love it so much.
She hasn't stopped going on about it.
I want everyone to read this book. I've texted everyone and my mother to read this book because it's amazing.
The next book I read was The Dinosaur Artist, Obsession, Betrayal, and the Quest for Earth's Ultimate Trophy by Paige Williams. This is a nonfiction book, and it really brought back my love for dinosaurs and paleontology, but not in the traditional sense, because this actually follows the black market trade of dinosaur fossils from, right?
What?
Right? Yeah. Did you know that this is one of the biggest black markets in the world, apparently? But so yeah, this followed the black market trade of dinosaur fossils through the world, and basically getting them from Asia to Europe and then to the US, and then selling them here, and who the buyers were, and how everything was done. It was pretty fascinating, so I gave this a 4 out of 5. It was the only one I don't have a physical copy of, and it's actually a comic, and it's called Under the Moon, A Catwoman Tail by Myracle. This one comes out in May, so it should be out by the time this video goes up, but it is an origin story of Catwoman, and it's told in a comic book format. Basically talks about how she was abused as a child, and what got her out of the house, how she learned all the parkour stuff that she does. And it's really a beautiful art style. It's a beautiful comic, and I highly recommend it to people.
All right, so currently I am reading the Selection series. So I have books 1, 2, and 3, which are the Selection, the Elite, and the One. Currently, I am more than halfway through the One, so I don't quite have a review for it yet. But for these two, for the Selection, I gave 3 stars because it's reading The Bachelor, essentially. Which normally isn't my style of book, but it did intrigue me. And I know that this is like a very beloved series that came out when I was in, I think, high school or maybe even earlier. I definitely think as a 17-year-old, I would have enjoyed this series more, but the Elite really captured my attention. I gave the Elite 4 stars because it started to introduce more of rebellion, how there's a caste system in this because it is in a dystopian America where our main character is in a lower caste trying to win the prince's heart. There's also love triangles, because in 2012 that was the big thing to have, was love triangles. But it doesn't anger me like most love triangles do. But I am thoroughly enjoying it. So far through the one, I'm really liking where I think the story is going. As the series progresses, it becomes much less like The Bachelor and much more of like Hunger Games-esque rebellion type of book. So I am thoroughly enjoying it and hope to finish the series early next month.
The next book that I kind of read this month was Pet Sematary by Stephen King. I DNF'd this book. I got 52% of the way through it, and then I was just kind of done. I realized that Stephen King's writing just isn't for me. I honestly got bored. I honestly, I didn't care about the characters. I thought they were all jerks, and it was just no. It was just, I have no desire to read anything else by him, unfortunately, so. Yeah, didn't make it through this one. Alright, so the next group of books I read were actually graphic novels. I read 4 of them. I read volume 7, 8, 9, and 10 of Lumberjanes. These are by Shannon Walters and Callie and Ayme Satuyo. I cannot say her name, I'm sorry. She did the art, and Maarta Leyh did the coloring, I believe, of this group. I believe the next one, volume 11, either just came out or is coming out in May. I don't remember, in all honesty. 7, 8, and 10 got 5, while volume 9 got a 4.5. I love this series. I absolutely love this graphic novel series. But they follow a group of girls. If you haven't heard about them, they follow a group of girls at a girls' summer camp, or a summer camp for strong lady types. And it follows all sorts of different, really, types of girls. Like in the 7th one, we're actually introduced to a gender fluid character.
Cool.
And so they move into the girls' cabin for the second half of the summer, and we're at the boys' camp for the first half. And we have lesbian characters, we have trans characters. It's really quite cool, and they have magic. So I mean, they're fighting these magical beings while at this camp, and it's just so much fun. Like, I cannot recommend these enough. They're so easy to get through, and so I can't stop saying the word fun, but they're so much fun. I want to go to camp. I miss camp.
So that is everything that we've read so far. I'm sure we will come out with another recent reads soon. So feel free to like, comment, subscribe to our channel. We post videos every Tuesday and Friday. We now have an Instagram that has gone live as of today. So by the time this video drops, we will have an Instagram, which will be linked in the description below, along with my handle, Bean's handle, and Brittany's individual handles.
And my blog.
And Sarah's blog. So we have all of that fun information down below.
Hit the bell icon if you want to be notified whenever we post new videos. And I think that's all we have for today.
All right. Thanks for watching. Bye.